visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Now, total marks as the int data type is correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Marks of 5 subject, it is okay, fine. And obtained marks, that is also fine. Float percentage is the correct data type, right? Now, when we saw the general structure of C program, I told you, all of you, that it has got four parts. One is the type declaration, another is the input output, third is arithmetic expressions, and fourth was control structure, right? So divide this program, right? Divide by, divide this program in a logical way. First of all, these first three statements are type declaration, right? So the better way to is to put the one blank line. Are you getting what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting.
So this is type declaration now,
Yes,
right?
sir.
For logical purpose only. Program, there won't be any performance issues or during execution, right? But divide that program logically. So now this is a type declaration, right?
Okay.
Next is our input output. So these are your input output statements, right? So put one more blank line here, right? Now this is your arithmetic part. You have calculated that, right? So divide that. Again, this is input output statement. Divide that, divide this, and divide this, right? Now the program is now neat. At least a programmer as well as other person who wants to understand your code, this program comparatively can be understood very easily, right? Now next is, uh, instead of writing statement in this fashion, marks in maths, physics, chemistry, engineering, biology, okay,
Yes, sir.
you should I prefer you should uh, write a separate printf statement for all this, right?
Okay.
So and you should the message should be extremely clear, right? So when you run the program, the message will be marks in maths, physics, chemistry, engineering, biology. So user, because you are not going to think from your side, as a you are a programmer, right? You are going to write a small application for end user, that person who is going to use your application. Okay, he is not able to see your code, right? So message should be very extremely clear. So instead you can give a message like this: I will modify this code, right? Enter marks of maps, right? And then a single scanf statement like this, right? On only 1%, that's all, right? Then copy paste this. Okay, now you can put here enter marks of physics, chemistry, English, biology. Is that fine? Okay. So physics, chemistry, English, and bio. right? Now the program will prompt user one by one, okay, because he may not be able to the user may not be able to remember marks of five different subjects at a time, right? There might be a mistake committed by the user. So we should take care of user, and we are a programmer. So this statement is right, there is no harm, but put blank spaces here, make it clearly visible. Okay, we have got lot of space here, so no need to crunch whole statement. Blank spaces do not make any problem. Now it looks nice, right? Now uh, now you have the total marks obtained, right? Usually usually this should be capital, right? This whatever you write inside printf statement as a message or output, make this as a this is a good programming practice. Nobody will teach
Okay.
you this, right? So this
Okay.
should be a sentence case, right? What do you mean by sentence case? The first alphabet must be capital, then this equal to sign should not be attached to these marks. Leave one space there, right? And this is good. There is no problem issue along with this. Obtained marks are right. Now percentage here again, this one, right? Now what you have done, this is a logical mistake, Ashutosh, right? Now see what happens inside the machine. Obtained marks, right?
Yes,
Suppose
sir.
suppose total obtained marks are suppose 470, right?
Yes, sir.
470.
Sir, but we haven't used total marks, sir. Like total marks is not scanned from the user.
Yeah, okay, no problem. See, uh, um, uh, see, basically, how do you find the average percentile marks? Total marks divided by number of subjects,
Yes, sir.
right? Total
Yes, sir.
marks divided by number of subjects.
Yes, sir.
Just write here number of subjects. That's all. You will get the percentage, right?
Yes, sir.
Huh? But what you wrote is that is not wrong. I will say that is not wrong. I will
Yes, sir.
show you why it is giving you mistakes. I will rectify your first code, right? Now
Okay.
what happens when you write statement in this fashion? We have to understand, if you have seen my if you seen my animated contents very carefully, probably you have to watch it again, because I have mentioned this in my animated course, and students are bound to make mistakes again, because I am aware about that, right?
Yes, sir.
So just inside the machine, the control will reach here first, right? On the right hand side of expression. Suppose 475 marks are there, right? So
Okay.
475 marks are, suppose this is 475. Assume that 470 marks, the total marks obtained by students are 475, right? So it will be 475 divided by total marks. What is that total marks? 500. What you are saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So 475 divided by 500 will be executed first. Why? Because this division and multiplication are arithmetic operators, right?
Yes, sir.
Having same precedence. Same precedence.
Mm-hmm.
So, and precedence is same, when precedence is same, the the statement will be executed from left to right. So this will be executed first, and then it will be multiplied by 100, right?
Okay, sir.
Are you getting what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the precedence chart, okay,
Mm-hmm.
hierarchy, the multiplication and division has got the higher precedence, right?
Yes, sir.
Then addition and subtraction, right?
Yes, sir.
But when two operators having same precedence appear in the expression, then compiler should not be in dilemma whether to execute this first or this first or this first, right?
Yes, sir.
What you are thinking is compiler will execute this first. Total marks, that is 500 divided 500, right? No, into 100. Okay. Now, what is happening along with your code? First of all, obtained marks is 475 divided by total marks, that is 500. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes,
it
sir.
is not giving you percentage. It is not giving you percentage. Why? Because I told you this is an integer and this is
Yes,
also
sir.
integer,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So integer divided by integer, the result is always
Integer
integer. So 475 divided by 500, what will be the result?
will be, sir, integer.
No, what will
But
be?
actually it will be float, like in decimals.
It, in mathematics, it is going to be float.
Yes, sir.
If I open the calculator here, is the calculator visible to you?
Yes, sir.
So 475 divided by 500, okay,
Yes,
is
sir.
0.95. And
Yes,
you are
sir.
multiplying this by 100, right?
Yes, sir.
That is what you are expecting as the output. But
But
this,
it,
but this is mathematics. This is not C language.
yes, sir. In C it will give 0.000.
Exactly. Now,
Oh, I got it, sir.
so this int and this int. So how
Yes,
you
sir.
can avoid this? First, you can avoid this by putting the brackets. There are multiple ways. Put the brackets. When you put
Yes,
the
sir.
brackets around this, okay, you are
Yes,
telling
sir.
the compiler execute this first, right?
Yes, sir.
So 500. Now here it is a divide, right? It has to be divide, right?
Yes, sir.
So this total marks divided by 100, right?
Yes, sir.
So you had assigned that 500 to total marks. So 500 divided by 100, that is 5, right?
Yes, sir.
And 5 obtained marks divided by 5, you will get the correct percentage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Instead of that, I give you solution what? Instead of that, I you directly solution as right 5.
5.
So instead of executing that internally and giving that task to the compiler, you can directly get obtained marks divided by 5.
5.
So you will
Yes,
get the
sir.
correct output, right?
Okay,
Let's
sir.
let's execute this program. Now you are getting the prompt like
Yes.
user like this prompt. So
Yes,
if
sir.
he goes on entering marks like this. So total percentage is 399 and percentage of student is
79.
79. Still it is wrong,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Still it is wrong.
Yes,
But
sir.
at least one step we are ahead, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. At least we are getting some percentage. At least we are
Yes, sir.
not getting 0.00.
0
Okay.
point. Yes, sir.
Now again observe here what is happening. This is integer.
Yes, sir.
This is integer.
Yes, sir.
So result is again integer.
Yes, sir.
Now getting perfect floating point output, right?
Yes, sir.
So one way for this is there are two ways to deal along with this, or
Mm-hmm.
multiple ways. First of all, this obtained marks, okay, should be declared as a float, but there is no point. If all these subjects are integer, then result is going to be integer. That's why you have
Integer.
this as the integer. So there is no
Yes.
harm in this. Okay. So
Yes,
there
sir.
are two ways. One raw way. This is not a official way, right? But this is
Yes.
a raw way. Okay. Make this 5 as a float, right? So make this as a 5.00. So one is the integer, another is the float.
Float.
So you will get the
Float.
float, right? So if
Yes.
I run this code now,
Yes, sir.
286, and there some digits are there beyond
6
the decimal point,
decimals.
right?
Yes, sir.
This is the raw way. There is nothing wrong in that. You are just playing a gimmick, because compiler does gives the result of integer as an integer. So you are telling the compiler, right? Instead of 5, I will write 5.00. So now it will solve, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
result of integer and float is float. Another good way of writing this is make typecasting. So before that object marks, you
Yes,
can
sir.
write float inside brackets,
Okay, sir.
right? So when
Yes,
you
sir.
write inside brackets as a float, right? You're telling the compiler that even though obtained marks is an integer variable, right? For time being, consider this as a float.
Yes, sir.
You're telling the compiler, rather you are requesting the compiler, though the variable obtained marks is an integer,
Yes, sir.
for time being, while executing this statement, consider this as a float. Okay,
Okay, sir.
this is called the typecasting. Casting the type, casting integer to float temporarily. In this way, obtained marks is not going to take 4 more bytes of memory, or obtained marks is not going to be converted into float, right?
Yes, sir.
Forever. For temporary reason, it will be considered as a float. And now if you run this program, it will give correct output. But it is the total is 320, right? So I will give you dummy. I will enter dummy values, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. No, again, total will be 7. 7 and 4, 11, 14, 16, and 17, right?
70. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you will correct it 3.40. Got that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you got the what I am saying. You got that perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, I will.
Doubt is
You
here. Okay. Uh, so that is fine. I think
Yes,
there is
sir.
no problem. You just instead of here 0.2, okay, this is a width specifier, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
0.2. So if you write 0.2, then you will get number up to 2 decimal places, right? So
Okay.
total obtained marks are 213 and
Yes,
percentage
sir.
is
42 points.
42.60, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now one more thing, the bit specifier can be given in this fashion as well, 10.2. So it leaves 10 places, gives 10 places. Okay, earlier probably you can remember. So if I compile this program, right, and run this program, can you see the output?
Yes, sir.
So see that this is bit ahead of this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you can know when professional programming professional codes are written. Now this is given special time to make it more decent code. Okay, decent looking code. So instead of slash n, they put here slash t, right? So input is given on the same line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Uh, so likewise here also total marks on the same line and slash n at the end, right? So if I run this code, one more here I will give you 10D, right? It has to be before D. If you, some students write it before percentile style sign. So now it is bit elegant, right? 63,
Okay.
85, 42, 95, and 42. One is actually staggered. We have to look at that. So everything is on the same line. So likewise, you have to play along with that program, okay? And make changes and make that beautiful, right? Why it is 42 going ahead? So likewise, right? So you have to play along with that program and make that beautiful, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you want this program? No, no.
No, sir, I got it. I wrote it already.
Okay. Now we will on the same in the same file we will write this, right? So again, make this code. This is sorry. This is the type declaration. This is input output. Now this is elegant. See, you are divided. What I have done? Nothing. Just a few enter lines, a few blank lines. That's all. But program now looks neat. So make this expression readable. And usually right here, the authentic formula. Okay. Instead of multiplying that degrees. No, no. Here you have made a mistake. You have written degrees in Fahrenheit is equal to degrees in Fahrenheit. The problem is actually the formula. Somewhere there should be degrees.
In Celsius, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Degrees in Celsius. What is that formula? Let me put.
Sir, degree in Fahrenheit equal to degree in Celsius into 9 by 5 plus 32.
Okay, just tell me. Degrees in. What is first of all a program? Enter the temperature in this E should be capital. Enter the temperature in degree centigrade, right?
Yes, sir.
Now here remove this equal to, right?
Yes, sir.
And put here slash t so that on the same line you can enter. You can put double slash t,
Okay.
right? And
Yes, sir.
then degrees in centigrade. So degrees in Fahrenheit. Just tell me the formula. Degrees in Fahrenheit is equal to degrees in centigrade.
Yes, sir. Into 9 by 5 is there, but that's 1.8, so that's why I written 1.8.
Okay, okay. Into
9 by 5.
9 divided by 5, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Plus 30,
32.
right?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can write, right? This
Yes,
is
sir.
how you can write. Before execution, you can just know examine that code. First of all, degree put one blank space here, right? This is the right way to put blank space always here, so that all variables are readable. Uh, uh, Degrees in centigrade is a float. So float
Yes, sir.
into 9, there is no problem. This
Yes, sir.
result will be float.
Yes,
Float
sir.
divided by 5, this will be float plus
Yes, sir.
32. So the answer will be correct.
Float. Yes, sir.
So there is no issue. Uh, so if I run this code now, suppose I enter 90, uh, suppose I enter 37 degrees centigrade. So that is 98.599. That is the correct
Yes.
output,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So I hope any doubt still in this program?
No,
No.
sir. Not.
Okay. You try to understand the basics. That basics are important, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So can I revoke the mic?
Yes, sir, you can take.
Any
And
other?
sir, yeah, eighth, sir, eighth question of assignment, I couldn't think of the logic, sir, how to do it.
Okay. Just tell me the program.
Sir,
I
wait.
don't remember.
Okay, sir, I'm telling you. Sir,
Is
it
it?
was like enter five-digit number and the sum should be like the sum of the digits.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
will give you a hint here.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, that's what I want,
I
sir.
will give you a hint here.
Now, sir, you can take the mic.
Okay. Okay. I will give you a hint. The uh, that secret lies here. Suppose if I declare a number 45, right? Now 45 is a single digit. Single digit. Is a not single digit. It is a two-digit number, right? It is a two-digit number. Now, how to separate this 4 and 5? It is big question because it is stored in a single memory, 4 bytes memory, and we want to separate 4 and 5, right? So there are operators which can help you, and operators along with unique feature. Suppose I write int p, okay, and I write p is equal to 45 divided by 10, right? What would be answer? Just write your answer. What would p contain after execution of this statement? 4, not 4.5, like in mathematics. Mathematics, you divide 45 by 10, it will give 4.5. But we are in C, and the rule of C says that if you are dividing one integer by another integer, the result would be an integer. If I write here p is equal to, sorry, if I print here p will be percent d, right? And let's value print, right? So now if I run this code, int 45, right? So p will be 4, right? Now what if I write 45 mod 10? What will be the answer? Just write in the chat box. What will be answer? 45 mod 10. Right. Ashutosh, you're right, because modulus operator gives you remainder, right? 45 mod 10 gives you remainder, right? So if I run this code, it will give 5. Okay. This has, why now 10 is, I have taken as an example. Suppose I take here 3 as an example. Okay. Then 45 divided by 3, okay, you will get output as 15. and 45 mod 3, you will get output as 0, right? Remainder is 0. So why I started taking example along with 10? Only because that is the secret to solve your program, right? Got my point? That is the secret to solve your program. So one by one strip that each digit of that 5-digit number. So your program should be, suppose I enter number as, suppose I'm not going to enter, but I will enter right here 5, right? So what you need to do is, okay, first remove that 1, then remove that 2, store in a variable, remove that 3, store in another variable, remove that 4, remove that 5. So go on collecting all these digits using that operators, division operator and modulus operator, right? And and at the end you will get 5 variables having 5 digits. One variable will be having 1, then 2, 3, and make addition of that, you will get summation of all digits. Is that clear? Is that hint sufficient for you to? Okay, sir. So we will go ahead along with the decision control structure. I will directly solve your role program because I had said that we have covered if, nesting of if else, right? Everything we have seen up to nesting, I suppose, if I'm not wrong, and we had reached up to the logical operators. So till this moment, whatever we have seen, that if else and nesting of if else and logical operators, I will write one program and explain you in detail what happens inside the machine, right? So so I hope screen is visible to you. um, all right. demonstration of Demonstration of if else control structure, right? Right. Okay, fine. Now a simple program we will write, the same program what from the same program from the first section, right? Very simple program. We will try to write a program uh, to find marks, uh, uh, percentage. It should have been better if we had that program. We wouldn't have lost time, but it's okay. I will type it again. It will be refreshed in your mind, and also observe how I try to write the code. Okay, elegant code. Okay, so we'll try to find to calculate percentile marks and print grade obtained. Okay. So we'll print the grade, right? So grade on the basis of marks, percentage, right? So suppose student has got more than 70%, the grade will be A, like that, right? Uh, More than 70 and less than 60, it will be B. Okay. So likewise. Okay. So I will write here. So grade is A when percentage is more than 70, more than or equal to 70, right? He will be the grade will be A, right? The grade will be B when percentage is more than or equal to 60, okay, and less than 70, right? So likewise, grade will be calculated. So grade will be C. You will get this video, okay? So try to listen to me carefully. That is all. The grade will be C when percentage is greater than 50 and less than 60, right? Grade will be say D, right? When percentage is more than 50 and less than 60. Right? Is that correct? No. 40 and less than 50. Right? So likewise. Right? And instead of ABC, we will say distinction. Right? First class, second class. In fact, students, I don't like this class and all these things. First class, second class. No, those who fail also, they are very clever. And all failed students in the world have made the wonder. That is the history of the world. So grade is failed if percentage is less than 40. Right? Okay, fine. Now see how to design this program. Okay? Step by step. We will and try this program in your home on your own. So let's think how many variables are declared. So five subjects are there, right? So there will be five variables, no doubt about that. We need to calculate the total. So one more variable for calculating the total or storing the total. One more variable for calculate the average percentage mark. So one variable is going to be there. Then five subjects are going to be definitely marks are going to be integer. So all these five variables will be in integer. Total is going to be addition summation of integers, summation of marks. So again, it is going to be integer. A percentage is probably percentage or 100%. Percentage is going to be the float variable, so it will be float. So we will declare a variable as I declare as m2, m3, m4, and m5. Right. On the separate variable, intentionally I will declare a variable as total marks. Right. I will declare variable as a float uh, percentage, right? Fine. Uh, Sometimes it is good practice to initialize this to zero, right? It is good practice. A few follow, few do not follow. Just I am telling you, I'm giving idea what goes on in the industry. Okay, so they are initialized so that it doesn't contain any garbage value. Now I will take the input from the keyboard uh, I will clearly write enter marks, right, and put here the slash t. This is just a message to the user, right? I'll scan that from the keyboard, uh, right, percent d, right? Don't forget here ampersand, right? Ashutosh, perhaps in earlier program, in first program, I sent you comparison of that. You forgot ampersand while scanning, and perhaps while printing also you put the scan. Some kind of mistakes are there, right? So never ever forget ampersand. Students or beginners always forget to put the ampersand here. So don't forget to put the ampersand because you are telling the compiler to store input by the user at the address of variable. So this ampersand is telling the compiler at this address, right? At M1. Got that? I will copy paste this, right? And goal changing uh, variable names, right? So everything is done right now. Input output is done. Now there will be a arithmetic part. So usually I make arithmetic part as a separate unit as far as possible. Every time it is not possible. So first I will calculate the total marks. Total marks is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus m5, right? Now I will calculate the percentile marks. So percentage is equal to, likewise at the earliest program shown, total marks is going to be integer. So I will write here float typecasting. I'm typecasting what? Total marks, right? Divided by 5, right? You can typecast this one also. Instead of this float, writing float here, you can either of that should be float. So you can write this float instead of to total marks. You can write here as well. There is no harm. 5 will be considered as a floating point value, right? So percentage is calculated now, right? Now the major part for which the program is we are going to write the program. So we are going to write if else control structure, right? So if I write if, right, condition should be there, right? Inside if there should be condition. So if, what if, we know that if percentage is greater than 70, greater than or equal to 70, right? We'll write percentage is greater than or equal to. Make sure that you leave space, one space here as well as on the both sides, but never ever leave space here. Okay, it should be greater than equal to close to each other, right? And right here 70, right? So that is a condition. I'm going to put the braces everywhere. So I will write here, right? I'll me give the message student has got distinction, right? And put slash in here. That's all. So one part is clear now. What if student has got more than or equal to 70, he has got distinction. But what about rest of the students? Those who haven't got 70. We cannot directly declare them as a fail or a first class or like that because a few more conditions are there. So now control will go to the else part. Else. But a lot of conditions are there, no? So there will be separate else block now. Okay, else. Now inside else, the control will reach here inside else only when he or she has got less than 70. Okay, control will reach here. Many students write here again if percentage is less than 70. Many students, you may also write. Okay, that's why I'm telling you. Control reaches in the else block only and only when he has got less than 70. So again here you don't need to write whether marks percentage is less than 70. Now here, as of now, we know that he has less than 70. The next step is whether he has got more than 60. Okay, so I'll put another condition if percentage is greater than or equal to 60. Right? If it is so, you can directly write what student has got first class. Right? Now, what if this condition is failed? This condition will be failed. This condition will become false only when marks are less than 60. So if it is so, next else, but this else is associated with this if. Okay, this else is associated with this if, and this inbuilt indentation helps you. Okay, inbuilt indentation. This is called indentation. Okay, so this indentation helps you to understand the logic. Right now, put here. Okay, so you are one step inside it else. So control will reach here only when percentage is less than 60. So again no need to check whether it is less than 60, but let's check whether it is greater than 50. Okay, so again I will put if percentage is greater than or equal to 50. Right, one more block you write here printf. Right, student has got second class. Right, we will not say third class, we will say pass class. Right, so if he has got more than 50, student has got second class. But suppose student has got 49, that means less than 50. So again there will be a separate else block. Right, ahead of else never ever write condition because that is not syntax. Inside else, go inside, check here if percentage is greater than or equal to 40. Right, what printf student has got pass class. Right, I forgot to put slash in here, new line character. Right, now suppose student hasn't got the this thing, um, less than 40. So you can directly write here else. No, there is no if. Student has got less than 40. So printf So see the indentation, that is very important. If you properly indent the program, this is a if block, right? This is the if block. It it ends here. This is the else block, outer else block or outermost else block from here to here. This is the outermost else block, right? Inside this there is a again if. So by taking one single program, I am teaching you everything what we learned yesterday. So this is if, right? This is if block, okay? And associated else block is this one. That's why when you click here, you come to know this is related. This closing brace has got connection along with his opening braces. This closing brace has got connection with this opening. So likewise, if program is indented properly, right? Then not only you will understand the program, but those who read the program they will also understand, right? So if you now compile this program, let's hope there are no mistakes are there. Semicolon is remaining. One more semicolon. Here semicolon is missing. I hope everything goes fine, but no guarantee. Let's see whether something is missing. No, so far there is no error and warning, but doesn't mean the program is successful, right? I will run the code, enter marks, enter marks. The student has got first class, right? We can print marks also and percentage. So print total marks equal to percent d slash n total marks, right? Scanner percentage is percent 0.2 f, right? And percentage, I'll put here slash n. If you have got a code block ID, whenever you compile the program, it is automatically saved, right? What is remaining? Semicolon. I have been doing programming in Python as well. So that's why in Python you don't need semicolon. So I forget always. So enter marks. The student has got distinction. Total marks 419. But what percentage? Why percentage is not printed? Okay, right here. Right here, printf. Scanf. Right? Right here, percentage is. Right. Whenever you write program, you need to check that program for multiple inputs. Okay, not just couple of inputs. You need to run that. You need to execute that program again and again and again and again. Right. So total marks are 337. Percentage is 67.40. So far program seems to be good. Right. One message you can give at the top. Printf, just telling you additional good programming practice, right? Marks should not exceed 100, right? So at the beginning, it should mark should not exceed 100, right? We don't have control over the user, right? I hope uh, uh, program is you understood the program, how it should be written, how one should take care the divide this program, uh, how your program should be neat and elegant. So this is input output, right? This is just output. So one more line is this arithmetic expression. So mm, uh, these are separate again. Then this is output statements again separate. One single enter line. I mean one blank line makes a lot of difference to understand the code. Here again, this if block below this perfectly else block. Okay, and this is how. The one secret I'm going to tell you, Dennis Ritchie has made the provision, okay, so that likewise, how many indentations are there? This is a one, this is second, this is third, right? Likewise, Dennis Ritchie has provided you can give indentation one inside another 255 times. See the power. One inside other you can give 255 times. Okay. Nobody writes that program. Okay. But Dennis Ritchie has provided that facility. Okay. Once inside other. And usually beyond three or four, one should not go. Beyond three or four stages. Otherwise, program understanding becomes difficult. Right? Okay, fine. So declare total marks is equal to 0. Basically, Ashutosh, whenever we declare variables, right? Uh, for a few variables, initializing those variables to 0 is a good programming practice. Okay, it is considered as a good programming practice. Why? Because all these variables contain junk values or garbage values, right? Suppose uh, uh, I will write another program, okay, to explain you. I will close this project. Another temporary program. I will share screen. Huh? I forgot to share screen. I hope it is visible. Uh, I'll give the name as garbage values, right? So just see if I declare variable as index, right? Float y, char ch, right? Fine. Printf, percent d, slash n, percent f, slash n, percent c, slash n, right? If I try to print x, y, and ch, right? If I compile this program, now it contains 0, 0.00, and nothing is printed here, right? Nothing is printed. So it might be a blank space. But there is no guarantee that it will contain 0, right? There is no guarantee. Some recent compilers are giving this facility, but that is not mandatory. So one should not rely on compilers. So what I mean, whenever you declare variables, basically This is a part of storage class we are going to discuss at the end of the our curriculum. At the end, that is the end part of that our curriculum. But whenever you declare variables, usually these contains garbage, right? This contain garbage. So to avoid that, some of the variables programmers tend to initialize that to zero, like no total marks initialize to zero, because total marks is going to be addition of some all. Total, you are not going to input total marks, right? You are going to calculate total marks. So usually those variables which you are going to calculate, we initialize to zero. If you can observe, I have not initialized M1, M2, M3 because we are going to input that. But those we are going to calculate, like total marks we are going to calculate, marks we are going to, percentage we are going to calculate, that we initialize to zero. That is a good programming practice.